Back, everybody. We are in game number 2. This is Group C for the big one. This is still one of the first matches of the day. The winner of this will move on to fight against TLO next. Currently leading the series, though, 1-0, coming all the way from Korea, playing for the team Samsung Galaxy. It's the blue Zerg player, Solar.
Yep, right as the red Protoss, it is Harstem.
Alright, and before we talk too much about the map, well, actually, you know what? I am going to talk a little bit about our subs and stuff in a sec, but I gotta tell you, I love the way Harstem, it kills me to say this because he lost the game, but he handled that situation so well. There were so many spots where I was like, wow, he's just going to lose that army in a heartbeat. But the force skills were perfect, the control was good. The problem was, if he had never suffered from that run by, I think we would have seen a much stronger game out of Harstem. And I think if anyone's underestimating him simply based on the fact that he's a foreigner versus a Korean, you're a fool. Because Harstem is one of the better foreigners, in my honest opinion. But to talk about this, because we got a little bit about this yesterday, and I want to address it before we get too far into the series today. People are like, you know, why are you talking so much about the subs and donations and all this? Guys, there's no corporate sponsor for this tournament. That's why you don't see like a Kingston HyperX logo. We got Cherries for Gaming as a logo because they're a channel sponsor. But I mean, they didn't exactly drop $5,000 in our lap for this tournament. So a lot of what we're doing was just saving up, getting ready, subs, donations, ad revenue, all leading over the last 6 months to this tournament. Which is really, quite frankly, awesome that we were able to do that in the first place. And we just want to share this all with you guys. If we can make a little bit of it back through sub and ad revenue and all these things, cool, great, whatever. We know we're not going to make $5,000 over these 3 days, but we want to make sure that you guys are appreciated for your support, because without you, we would never have been able to put this event on in the first place. So sincerely, thank you, every single one of you, and that's why we're going to be doing sub shoutouts throughout the day. Anyways, Solar, in this particular instance on Overgrowth, may find himself in a little bit more of a comfortable spot. We're definitely seeing a lot more Zerg. It's hard to call it favoritism, but like, I mean, Zergs are loving this map, bottom line. We're not seeing Protoss players dominate here, we're not seeing Terran players dominate here. I mean, statistically speaking, I could be wrong, but every time I cast this map, it just seems like it's the Zerg guy who wins this game.
This is certainly annoying for Solar, as he was trying to go a 3-hatch before a pool, and decides, god darn you, and go through the pool.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got the money to burn. When you have 500 minerals, you might as well. It's no point.
Right? Like, it took that much time. But yeah, it's still a very greedy opener, and unfortunately, Harstem not really in the position to do anything about it. You know, he didn't get a forge, he got a gateway, and so I did take a bit of a gamble in that, but it was a correct one.
You know what I like about Harstem, though? And this is, I think it'll work against him in this particular opening. He's not really the guy to do your typical like 7-gate all-in, 8-gate all-in, go sentry heavy and try and YOLO to victory. I mean, he jokes around a lot about YOLO and stuff. You see him on Twitter all the time, but I think, I mean, he's another one of those Protoss players you see really geared towards the macro game a majority of the time. His all-ins are strong when he does do them, but you don't see him do them all the time.
Rifkin, look at the mini-map. Oh, no, it moved. Never mind. God darn it.
What?
Because the Overlord was right on top of the Nexus, you actually couldn't see that the Overlord was there on the mini-map.
Oh, but too much red. Too many dots.
Yeah, like, didn't show up at all. It should be, like, changing to purple at least, right? Because the red and blue colors.
Sure.
Yeah,
Too bad
in the
colors
history...
don't mix. Too bad colors don't mix. Make purple. Third player enters the game.
Yes, exactly. In history, you've gotten things about color wrong, but that one I'm pretty sure is correct.
Oh, black and... That wasn't even on our channel. That was in Copa America. Leave it be.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
What happens in Copa America stays in Copa America, except for when we reference it and constantly bring it up on our own channel.
Then it doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, Copa America will be going later tonight, guys.
Wow. Wow.
But Harstem just did throw some gateways to the wall. You know, 4 gates right now. Ooh. Wait, there's the Overlord. Why did the camera jerk me up there?
Hey, Rifkin. How about this no gateway all-in shit?
Well, no, this is what I was saying. Like, this is not his typical MO, and I think this is gonna work out really nicely for him. This is why I said like, I was a little bit worried that he might not go for it, and he goes for the macro game on this map. But if he goes heavy all-in, well, not even all-in, but just if he goes heavy aggression to knock down a third, this is what sends you ahead as a Protoss player.
I wonder if, well, he didn't actually take a second gas, so maybe not. I was wondering if it was a plan because the Overlord was sniped, but actually, looking at it, I think it was predetermined to happen on this map, but that would have been cool, whatever. I think it is going to be effective, you know, whatever the case may be. There's only lings out in the field. Now, Solar does know this is coming. I think maybe an Overlord was over to the right. He saw the probe come down, or I'm not sure.
Well, he's going to cut around here a little bit. I mean, the one thing that's going to work out well for Harstem in this regard, guys, is while Solar's on 3 bases, he's on the same drone count as there are probes, so not exactly with a big income advantage, and he has to devote every bit of larva right now into lings, because there's no roaches, there's no hydras. He's got to stop this attack. He can't afford to lose his third. He knows it. Harstem also not getting too dedicated with this as well. You know, he could have sniped the queen, but at the cost of all his stalkers, so still trying to play it safe.
This could get increasingly more dangerous for Solar. I mean, whoa, speed just finished.
Harstem's actually not going too zealot heavy. I think it's a bit of a problem, though.
Yeah,
he could use the pylons to maybe limit surface area here a little bit, but yeah, as we see...
Harstem just loses. I mean, Game Outlins depends so much on surprise and catching your opponent while they're droning, and Solar knew this was coming from, like, step number 1, because they had that overload over the natural, or the main for so long and saw no gases, or not, no second gas, rather.
You know what could work out here, just strategically speaking off the back end of this? Well, this failed and kind of really screws Harstem. Harstem's TVP is, I think, one of his favorite matchups.
Oh, okay.
So if he does lose this, it might work out better for him to fight from the loser's bracket, I guess, and maybe catch him a little more fatigued later on.
And Solar's worst matchup is ZVZ.
Yeah, this is actually kind of interesting.
TLO, it's your time to shine, man.
Yeah, I mean, Harstem, I don't think he's going to be able to hold this off too much longer, but I don't know. I mean, I gotta tell you, Harstem versus Supernova, I think, is a lot better set for Harstem in the first place. I mean, if you guys remember, we had a show match that was canceled due to timing and some unfortunate coincidences, where it was supposed to be Harstem versus 4GG, and a big part of this is because he loves TVT. It was originally Harstem versus Daishi, actually. He wanted to show the world that he was such a badass, he could take on any Terran player. So, you know, PvZ, if it's not a strong suit, especially on the North American server fighting against Solar, I think he's got a pretty good fighting chance against Supernova. But of course, he's still gonna have to fight a Zerg player either way, ultimately at the end. But here's my thought process on this, right? For Harstem's point of view, guys, and this sounds crazy, hear me out. I'm not trying to wish anyone well or bad or whatever. But let's say Harstem beats Supernova, and let's say Solar beats TLO. Then Harstem gets to fight TLO on the European server. Then it's a PvZ without lag, and maybe that's his best case scenario to get out of the group. I don't know. I mean, the game's certainly not over yet, but it's not like Harstem's in an amazing spot right now.
He's gonna follow it up with a Sentry Immortal in, which is not that surprising, but probably ill-fated. Actually throws on a Forge, so maybe not. Yeah. I mean, by the time he's gonna push out, like the Forge won't have done anything for him, I guess, unless he's just using the cannons back at home. Is he actually trying to take a third?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it'll work. If he's got a pretty sizable army.
Building over probes. Okay, right, yeah, no, okay. I don't know what the forges were then.
Right, but he walls us off. So, I mean, here's the thing. Like, his army is so good against roaches. I don't know about these lings, though. It's going to take a lot of force fields.
Oh, that Immortal.
I mean, the thing about lings is they do dissipate very quickly. But that's still a lot of lings he's going to have to chew through.
Yeah.
I like that he didn't overreact, though. I mean, right now, Solar is trying to bait out force fields, and that's it.
There's no observer.
Oh, yeah, Burrow's gonna work out here really nicely.
Burrow
is such a good counter to force fields, guys. If you are a Protoss player, you're struggling with force fields, just go Burrow earlier. It seriously makes the world of difference. Because, you know, a lot of these pushes, as we see, they don't usually have an observer with them. You know, you can't really afford to squeeze it out because you've been pumping Immortals like crazy. Yeah, he could technically chrono one out and maybe send it across the field, but that's not going to happen until he realizes there's already Burrow in play, and by then it's usually too late.
Yeah, he's even getting the Burrow movement, so when you get Burrow movement, it's no longer about the surprise, no observer. It's about getting under the force fields and popping underneath them, and it's still very effective. So, by the time Harstem pumps an observer out, it'd be too late. Use Burrow, there you go.
Yeah. Of course, if Burrow had a timer on it, so the roaches like had to come up for air or something, maybe it'd be different. But of course, you can just Burrow indefinitely. So wait for those force fields to wear off, and then come back.
Oh, he goes into vision. That's a bit of a mistake. Solar would have had to really stick around, and Harstem would not have seen it. Still buying time. The observer is making the way across. Here it comes.
I do like that he's setting up for this sort of sandwich move, though. Solar, as you guys can see by the minimap, he keeps dipping in and out with his army because he's trying to go in and catch Solar on the back end, or sorry, not Solar, Harstem, when those force fields come down. But damn if Harstem doesn't have a lot of force fields right now. 15 sentries. This is insane.
I mean, maybe he could actually make something out of this. Burrow is barely, or Burrow movement rather, is barely not done.
Yeah, this flank always going to be a bit of a nuisance. I love that he's not taking the fight here, guys. It's so easy, and so often you'll see Protoss players just kind of aim move into this, but if he does, the Zealots are in range of the Roaches, and the Zealots can't shoot the Roaches back. So this works out pretty well the way he's layering the force fields. It's a lot of force fields, but he's got a lot of force fields to burn. But the shark
look at how
attack!
fast
The
they
shark
are,
attack!
jeez. What the heck? No contest after that roach burrow.
Well played. Alright, Solar is going to take the first game, guys, and we are going to be, his second series, but the first series for him. We'll be moving into a ZVZ now with Solar versus TLO in the winners